Hey, Jenny, are you listening?
I'm here.
Hey, did you get my email about those books the other day?
The ones you were giving away or selling?
I sent you a separate one about some books that I asked you specifically about.
Oh my gosh.
Biology lab. They're like meteorology lab, engineering lab, astronomy lab. They're all like activity books that explore things with art and activities, and they're brand new, but I double ordered. Do you want them?
Oh, I do. I'm so sorry.
That's
I didn't
okay.
know it was this to me.
Yep. If you want them, I'll send them to you.
Yeah, I just figured
Okay.
I was so late. I missed out,
Nope. I'll send them to you in the Courier.
Oh, that'd be great. Thank you so much.
How's things going otherwise?
They're going. Things are really good at the library.
Good.
People come in.
There you go. That's always a good thing. All right.
All righty. Good morning. It is 9 a.m. We're going to go ahead and get started. I am recording today because there's a couple of people who let me know they could not be here, including our own Brenda Cash. We have flyers for some upcoming events that are embedded into the calendar, so the SEKLS calendar, but I wanted to, hopefully everybody knows that this Friday is Innovation Day. Unlike in years past, this has no bearing on allocation except towards your staff continuing education, or if you have a majority of your board who wish to attend Innovation Day, it would fill the trustee continuing education allocation requirement. But to get allocation for coming to the annual meeting, you need to come to the annual meeting, which will be September 6th, 2024 in Chanute, a new building behind the Neosho Hospital. Our keynote speaker, I'm super excited. Her name is Pam Hamilton. She spoke at our academic in-service, and we asked the academics, is there any problem with us having her back? And they said no. So we're having her back with permission from the academics. And she talked about stress and burnout and self-care. And I thought of you, Andrea. It's been a really stressful couple of years. And she was a wonderful speaker. So I'm excited to have her. Some other upcoming trainings are down here. Library district budget training is next week for my district libraries. We have invited in July, we've invited Tiffany to just talk about exempt and non-exempt status for us, sort of in a director's interest group. Because with the new law that's coming and the new salary requirements, some of you are probably going to go from exempt directors to non-exempt directors. What does that mean for timekeeping and for your policies? Quick tips for time management, quick tips for project management in August and in September. And then we also have keeping it legal, which is not me giving legal advice, but instead April and I going over the library law to just remind us about sort of the guidelines for governance and administration as based on the law. And that will be August 15th on Zoom at 2 p.m. So we'll see how many of Roger's cartoons show up in my version of the training, but it could happen. All righty. Quick system update. We did have a board meeting on May 20th, and they did approve here, right here, ready for your review. They approved, let me repause, resume sharing. There you go. Can you see my screen? See the agenda? Okay. On the homepage of SEKLS, you have the new system plan that was approved and the strategic plan. The system plan is going to look a little bit different. This is a requirement that every system has to do for the state library, and it was requested that we all use about the same format. So now the state library board can read everybody's and kind of compare apples to oranges. It was interesting. It was a really interesting activity and exercise, and I'm glad we did it. So feel free to look through both of those. They will be brought before the full board in September to be ratified, just because I think that that's a good thing to do. But please review them and share your feedback. I'm interested to hear what you think. The other thing that's going on between the system directors and the system consultants is we are reviewing what was formerly known as the standards and now will be called the guidelines. Kind of looking through those and seeing how we're thinking how we want to best use those for you guys, but I think they're going to be helpful. They're definitely going to be updated. We've asked the system consultants to look at actual data, to look at the state statistical, that giant spreadsheet that we can get from Alice, to come up with some salary ranges that are updated. And some of you remember that chart that's at the end of this standards, that here's how many computers you should have, here's how many hours you should be open. We kind of want to look at that and see if it's still accurate. And then I'm on a subcommittee of the system directors to talk with Ray again about system funding with the passage of the bill that allows Arc City and Udall to vote to create independent library districts. We realize that there's still a risk to system funding. If all the public libraries in the state decided they wanted to become districts, there's no money for systems. So we are reviewing that, and we'll have a meeting tomorrow to talk about it. I wanted to remind everybody about the increase in state aid and in the increase in allocation. So one of the things that was approved was the budget at that last system executive board meeting. We are increasing the base for our allocation to 4,200. So you'll get that bump. Then the state library budget included a new $1,000 base for every public library in the state. So you're getting whatever, I think I told you guys this last time, whatever you put in your budget last year for state aid, add $1,000 to it, and know that that's still going to be less than what you receive, because they also increased the per capita. It was only 2 cents, but they're changing the population that they charge that 2 cents against. And it's the whole state, not just the taxing counties. So that means the population of Johnson County is going to get included, the population of Shawnee County, some very populous counties that were not counted before will be counted now. So that 2 cents is actually going to seem like 6 cents. So from what, 28 cents to 34. So you're going to see a bump in state aid, and we are not done. We still want to further restore state aid. So we're going to we originally asked for a $3,000 base, and they compromised to a $1,000 base. So we're hoping that we can grow that back. So maybe 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. Andrea, sorry, I was just yammering.
Can you go over the per capita part again? I'm not following that quite.
Well, you know how, so right now it was just per capita, and it was like, what, 28 cents per capita? In that 28 cents is only charged for sort of taxing counties. So in Northeast, it would have been all the counties except Johnson, Wyandotte, and Douglas. Well, the way they rewrote that was the per capita is now going to be taxed against the entire population of the state. So the pool of who's getting who's getting taxed increased. So that's why what on paper is a 2 cent increase is going to actually feel like a 6 cent increase.
Okay, so we can figure 34 cents per capita.
Yep, plus the $1,000 on top. Yeah. So I just added $1,000 to mine, and whatever is extra is gravy.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, because I was always taught for your income, keep it short, don't overestimate your income, overestimate your expenses, and underestimate your income. So that's what we try to do. There was that increase in state aid. I will say, did anybody else see on Facebook Dodge City Public Library's Welcome to Storyville National Park sign? It was really, really cute. It was super sweet. There was they had it look like the stone and the wood, and they used the same font as the state parks. It was pretty cute. So I would recommend having fun with this. I hope you guys, we have chickens at the library for ours. I want to, let's see, I talked about that. I'll let somebody else talk about that. Did you guys all see on Ken Libel that the notable books information is out? Okay. And everybody, the first half of the year support for SEKLS Hoopla has been distributed. So I've reached out to some of the libraries that still have active invoices, and we'll work with you. We're talking about maybe having a short webinar to talk about setting up, how to set up your budget, how to limit the number of checkouts that people can have, the things that you can do to support that budget going a little, stretching that budget for Hoopla. Oh, and then I pulled this from Ken Libel as well. The Kansas Free Legal Answers launched by the Kansas Bar Association. So I know for some of us, we have the occasional legal question. So let's check it out. Let me know what if you end up using it. It'd be interesting to see how it works. And then the last thing I wanted to say before we do a round robin and I turn it over to staff is kudos to Darren and the team. Tammy and Professor Hernandez and Mr. Rob and Ms. Tammy are all, including Cindy, are going to be presenting on Friday for the Innovation Day. We are excited to have it in a new location. So we hope that you can come to that. That's it for me. For the round robin, Andrea can't make it today, but I told her I would ask. Have any of you used an architect or have an architectural consultant that you would recommend to her? They need somebody to give them some support and advice about their elevator in their Carnegie building. So if you know of somebody, please reach out to Andrea. And then as Iola, we are trying to repurpose the Fluharty Powell Library Annex, i.e. the house, and have discovered, well, I already knew we had it, tons of metal shelving, surplus metal shelving in one garage. And we have surplus folding chairs in another garage and typewriters. Anybody need a typewriter? We got 3. Yeah. So, I thought of Kayla at Sedan. I know maybe some others are also looking to expand or might have a need for metal shelving. So reach out to me, and we'll try to, dig through the stacks of green and beige metal shelving and see if we have anything that you can use. My board has already approved that we can give those away to our public libraries in SEKLS. So that is it for me. I'm going to, April, do you want me to stop the share?
Whatever you want.
Okay, I will. I'm gonna stop it and you can take the floor.
Yay. Well, Sharon said everything I needed to say. Yes, huh? So hopefully we see a lot of you here on Friday. It'll be a good day, I think. And like she said, it's a new place, so we will have directions on how to get there. It's literally across the street from where we were, just in the science building. So it's a nice, really nice space. And so we're kind of treating it as we're taking you back to school. So that's why I'm Professor Hernandez. But and I technically won't be teaching, but I will be kind of facilitating. But anyway, and then we have, like Sharon said, the Keeping It Legal coming up. We're also doing in July the non-exempt, exempt difference, and because that's could be a big change for some libraries. So and then in the fall, we'll have advocacy training, probably October or November. I'm still working on that to get everybody ready for the upcoming legislative session that will start in January. The state legislature is going back into session on June 18th. The governor called a special session, so that will be June 18th. We'll need to keep a track of the legislation that comes up during that time because they could sneak some stuff in. It's mainly to look at the budget because she did not sign the budget, but they could throw back in any of those legislative things they were talking about over the session and try to get something passed. So we need to make sure that we're keeping an eye on that in case we need to contact them to tell them we don't want those things. Or if there's happened to be something we wanted, that we want those things. So anyway, I think that's all I have.
All right, Jason.
I just wanted to say that if you're coming to my session on Friday, bring some stuff to work on. We want to make it sort of hands-on. I'm doing graphic design, Canva, and libraryware, so we'll cover some concepts, but also if you have projects, I want you to bring those so that we can sort of do some stuff together. And it's really a day about play and getting your hands dirty. So other than that, I'm kind of in a lull where the test server was upgraded in anticipation of migrating Eureka and Fort Scott Community College. We have a lot of stuff happening in August. I have a lot of stuff happening in August. So we'll be having an upgrade. We'll be having the migrations. I'll be presenting at a conference, the Call US conference in August. So right now I'm sort of just trying to mentally prepare for all that. So that's where I'm at.
Be gentle with him in August, and hopefully he'll still be here in September. So he said you get to go to Montreal in September. So
yes, I'm presenting at the Qual US conference in August, and then presenting at the International Con in September.
Yeah. Yeah. And April and Tammy will also be presenting at several conferences. So we're going to be out and about across the US and North America. So congratulations to all of you. And Brenda is out today. What did she say she needed to? Kim, what did she say?
I'm not sure.
Oh, okay.
I'm actually still here.
Oh,
right
well,
here.
hi. Then you can talk.
I don't have a lot to say. Like Jason said, I will be doing trainings for these new libraries coming up in August. So we're kind of riding out the summer. Friday, I'm going to be hanging around anybody that has the crickets. I don't have knowledge enough to teach you anything, but I have support knowledge. My machine's a different brand. I did want to mention the Kansas Library Express turnaround study that was sent out. That was done back in September, but they just compiled results. If you haven't opened that up and looked at it, because I didn't initially, the most interesting thing about that is the times from 2015, the 1 day turnaround was at 67%, and the 2 a day was at 95, and within 3 days was 98. In 18, it dropped down to 64, 91, and 95. And in 23, it dropped down to 45 for 1 day, 79 for 2 days, and 92 for 3. Maybe that's acceptable. I don't find it so. We had a KILT meeting last week, and Lars Leon, who is on the Courier committee, kind of touched on this and brought this up and wanted to know if it was still relevant for people to get things quickly, physical items. You know, he's at a university, so they deal a lot more in electronics. I assured him that it was, that our people are expecting things as soon as possible. So just something, I don't know how much more will come out of that, but he did talk about maybe putting something together and asking for feedback. So if that comes along in your email, just respond to it.
Okay.
Unless you don't care. I think we all
I
do
think
that.
our customers care.
Our customer, that's what I said. Our patrons are watching, the ones that are really savvy, and they know when something goes in transit, they expect it to be at their library within a day or two. Sometimes that happens, sometimes it doesn't.
Yep.
And the mail is not any better. So I'm not bashing the Courier. I think that maybe with a change of people in charge, the expectation has lowered. I don't know. Maybe I just need to stop and quit selling gripey. Anyway, that's it. That's all. And I am
Okay.
leaving. So I'll
All
pop
right.
out.
Kimberly.
I just have a reminder to send your laminating. If you have story walk you need laminated, just send it to us and we'll get it back to you. And if you have any cataloging, and then if you're thinking of inventory, let us know, give us a time, and we can set up your library, contact Jason or myself. So that's about it for me.
You guys just Hepler was your last inventory, right?
Yes.
We forgot to talk about this. If you change your hours, let us know. And that's Jason needs that information. He's got a chart that he keeps we need to know for the Courier, and we just need to know for our online directory. So if you've had changes in your hours, if you've changed your email, if you got a new phone number, whatever. If you've had any kind of change to your contacts, let us know so that we can make sure that we're updating our information. And you can let Michelle know, or just send it to any of us, and we'll get it rounded, sent round to everybody. Alrighty, Miss Tammy.
Couple of things. If you are considering inventory, consider weeding before you do your inventory. And if you want to request help with that, then let April or Sharon or I know, and we can help as appropriate. And then I heard this morning on NPR on the drive-in that postage is going up again. So that makes me a little more thankful for the Courier. And even though there are issues with it, I just wanted to remind everyone that we have summer library program reflection and pre-planning for next summer coming up. It will be August 13th at 1:30 p.m. at Garnett Public Library. Thank you to Andrea and Charlotte for hosting. We don't usually go quite so far north, but I'm excited to be there. And it'll give everyone an opportunity to see the great things at Garnett and the wonderful artwork that they have there that is done within the community. Registration for that will open July 16th. That's what I have.
Thank you. Okay, Darren.
I don't really have a whole lot today. Hope to see you guys on Friday. We do have the laser engraver that that'll be shown on Friday, and that's going to be something that we'll be able to take to different libraries. And if you guys, we'll talk about the rotating plan on that. It'll be something that one of us will be there to start out with. It'll be probably me, but been looking forward to showing that off. But I'm looking forward to also talking about Divi and the Kansas State databases on Friday too. So that's all I got.
All right. The engraver is super cool. I was showing it off to my board last night. Darren was here working on some door prizes for us to get those branded, I guess. So thank you, Darren, for all your work on that. Appreciate it. And Cynthia.
Okay.
I think this was this month I can talk and be heard. So to follow up a bit on last forum, I have been looking into the Lego Braille bricks. I found out you can get a free kit or purchase it, but I'm going the free route, and you have to go through your country's connection, and ours is the American let me think here. Printing House, American Printing House for the Blind. It's in Kentucky. So I've emailed them. I'm not sure of the exact terminology to use, so I hope that makes sense for them. There are a lot of trainings on the APH, American Printing House website that's really interesting. They're talking about teaching math using the Braille bricks to use play-based instruction. And anyway, there's a whole lot of stuff there. The Talking Books is having their summer reading program again this year. If you participate fully, you're in a drawing for $50. I don't have much to do with that, but I certainly can connect you with Maggie, who runs the whole show. They have a excuse me. They have a book club out of Manhattan that Maggie does for adults and young adults. So anyway, if you have someone low vision, no vision, that qualifies for Talking Books, they also can do the summer reading program. And let's see, I've got a couple of board trainings scheduled, and it's not just Talking Books that I talk about. It's things that I have found and discovered, and things that can be used by a variety of people and professions. So consider that board training if you want. I can accommodate whatever time you need. So I'll just make adjustments to my PowerPoints. I am starting to plan for farmers markets this summer. And so that's interesting because they're at all times of the day. Anyway, let me see. I've only visited one library in May, but I'm coming your direction, so I will call and let you know, and then set up a time so I can visit. And oh well, contacting the care facilities to see if anyone there at those, and there's just at 100 if they need any Talking Books or even the audio reader. But I'm having trouble with one patron of Talking Books who wants audio reader, and we've tried a variety of different methods because there are 5 ways that you can access the audio reader, which is the service out of Lawrence that reads newspapers loud. And I tell you what, I'm trying to get free Wi-Fi for this lady who is blind. I'm not having much trouble, so if anybody has any ideas for me, let me know. And that's about it.
Okay, thank you. And then Cindy will be so I don't know how many of you have been to conferences that have like a quiet room or a place for if the noise and the people is a little bit overstimulating and you just want to go be someplace quiet and relaxed. Cindy is going to be that place on Friday with some of her gadgets and fidgets and hopefully some coloring pages. Are we gonna have coloring pages?
I also have a weighted blanket for people to try out and see what they think of it. It's brand new. It was a gift for me that I haven't even opened yet. So there won't be any bed bugs to pass around, but I don't have them at my house anyway. So I've got just a variety of things for people to even just look at if they would like to do that.
Okay. So thank you for taking on that role. And have I missed any of my staff? I don't think so. Okay. But let's go back to round robin with you all. Are there questions, concerns, bragging rights? What you got?
This is Wendy. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yep.
We had a successful event, kind of like a reopening of the library with our new name, and lots of projects happened between the beginning of November and the day of the event. Stephanie Brown, who is the board chairperson, was expecting about 150 people. It was a lot to do, but we got it done. It was very successful. We had a lot of people coming and going and enjoying the things that we had going on there, which included 2 vendors that were beekeepers. And we also had an ice cream truck run by a 15-year-old. And that was very popular as well. That was outside. And it was just a really good day. The weather held out, and that was the most important thing. But if anyone hasn't been over this way in a while, please come and visit, because we've had a lot of changes, all positive.
Congratulations. I'll have to
Thank
get the
you.
name of that 15-year-old food truck person. Andrea.
Okay. I just wanted to, you touched on this a little bit with the Hoopla and the payments and stuff, but I was just curious, because like our bill this month was $700 and we can't maintain that. So I was just curious, if there's somebody is trying something different that they like, that is comparable to Hoopla, where you don't have as many waiting lists and things like that. Also, I'd be curious, because we're going to have to do something. And I know that there's different options available within Hoopla, but I was just curious if anybody had went a certain way and if they found that was successful for their patrons by, limiting the number of items they could check out, or do you go with, I have X number of dollars to spend every month, and what seems to be working for other people? And maybe that's too big of a discussion for this. Somebody can just call me or email me or whatever, but that's kind of what I'm wondering at the moment.
I don't see Bev. I know that they immediately took the most expensive items and took them off the menu. So that's one option. And just know you're the 3rd highest number of users in the system, Andrea. So it's Pittsburgh, Chanute, and you. So there's that too. It's popular. Our Hoopla use at Iola has gone down once we subscribe to Sunflower eLibrary. And it's continuing to go down. So I think people are enjoying Sunflower, even though it's not the same kind of model. It does have a good selection.
We do Sunflower as well, but Hoopla still, I do believe Hoopla is still the most popular.
Okay.
So I've tried, the staff and I are trying to be more proactive in suggesting or promoting the Libby and the state library stuff. But I use it some, but in reality, I personally find myself looking at, it seems like Hoopla is kind of my go-to, and I try to break myself of that, but it's hard.
How many circs per month do you allow people?
5.
Okay.
Well, Sharon, I just want to weigh in on Iola, because that's listed as my home library. And I will say 95% of the time I cannot check out a book from Hoopla because your limits have already been met.
Yep.
So I think that when you talk about your cert going down, it might be because of the limits that you have set on there. So just as a
Well, I'm
patron,
saying compared to before we had Sunflower, we still had those limits. So we've had the same limits since I started.
Do you allow anybody to sign up for your Hoopla and your ebook, audios? I mean, pretty much we don't have any restrictions on that, but I know a lot of the people that are using it are not necessarily even in Anderson County. And I hate to start I hate to start putting a limit on that, but at the same time, has anybody done anything that way? Like only people that live in, I don't know. I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out how we can continue to offer it and not be broke at the end of the year.
Well, and I will say that this is a statewide concern. This is sort of at the crux of some issues in central Kansas. With should digital resources be included in our charge to allow open access to anybody in our region? So, and again, it's because the Hoopla pricing model is not sustainable for anybody anywhere. It's too good. It's a really great product and everybody loves that they don't have to wait. But it makes it super difficult. I know, Gina, I was looking at yours. Kudos for you guys for putting that much money into this. Because, yeah, hers, they support it well.
So do you, I guess I struggle a little bit with figuring out how much we really should be putting toward that. If it is X amount percentage of our budget, is there magic formula that we should be using to try to decide that, or just what we can afford, which is where I'm at right now?
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit of what you can afford. So it's our electronic use for all of our electronic uses, all of our electronic options is like right between where we are for children's books. So it's 5,000 for electronic use, 6,000 so far this year for children's books, and almost 8,000 for adult books. So it is well used. It's not quite up there with audiovisual, but it's growing. It's the one part of our circulation that's growing, and that's why we have good circ numbers. So there's a demand for it, obviously. People like to be able to read on their devices or watch or listen. I think, is it still audiobooks? Are you guys mostly finding that it's audiobooks that's getting used for that?
Our audiobooks are the highest, but there is a lot of ebooks being used as well. Not so much the off stuff like in Libby, like, movies and magazines and stuff. There's a little bit of that, but it's a lot of the audiobooks are still the biggest draw.
Well, I guess I would ask everybody to think about what role you would see the state library playing, if any, in digital content. If cloud library isn't cutting it, is this an opportunity for the state to look at a different product to support that demand? I would look at the number of registered users that you have that are using it. If it's 4 people and it's using up 10% of your book budget, is that fair or equitable? So think about that. And I understand what Tammy's saying, that it's a frustration, it's a barrier to have to put in budgets, at least at Iola. But it's the only way I can make it sustainable. Jenny?
Maybe I wasn't paying attention well enough. Did you say there was going to be a class on Hoopla some money? Or
Well, we were talking about it yesterday, doing a, just a webinar where we look at the back end, go into Midwest Tape and click on Hoopla and go look at all the different options that everybody has to set your budget, set your limits, pick the pricing model that you want to use, meaning, unclick the most expensive tier of content. And it looks like in the chat that's we should make that happen sooner rather than later. So maybe we'll try to get that in July. It would be informal,
what about the exempt and non-exempt status? Was that another class you're talking about?
Yeah, that one's, I think I'll let April talk to that one. She's already got it booked. It's on your green sheet.
Yeah, it's scheduled for July 12th. So a little bit after it takes effect, because I think it takes effect July 1st. And so we got it scheduled as soon as we could around that date. So it'll be Tiffany Henschel again, who's come and talked to us about HR things. So, but yeah, we figured that because of how it's going to affect so many libraries, we've needed to do something so that everybody understood exactly how that's going to affect them.
Okay. Jenny, did you have any other questions? You good?
I'm good, thank you.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Jana said, we tell people to use their Hoopla checkouts wisely. The library pays for Hoopla and the state pays for cloud. So we push that. Have it be the last resort. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Bonnie. Have fun. Andrea.
I feel like I'm monopolizing, but this is a Jason question this time. I know that you are working on a kiosk model of the card catalog for kids. Where is that at?
Officially, we're still testing at Iowa and Parsons, but it's live. I mean, if you want to set one up, you're welcome to. It's just at kids.seekandfind.org. Anybody can go there. You can go there right now, and I'll put it in the chat. And if you're not sure about setting up the kiosk type thing, our techs can help with that. We've just got it set up on an iPad out front. I think at Parsons, Sammy set one up. She's got different kinds of tablets, but it's like touch centric. So if you've got some sort of tablet or something, you can set that up. You can also just put it on a regular computer and set it up that way. So the web address is there.
I was just thinking about the technology grant this fall and, if it was ready to go or not. So
yeah, I mean, it's always going to be a work in progress. So you're welcome to start using it and give me feedback. I would welcome feedback. There are some things on my to-do list as far as things I want to improve. I just haven't had time. So that's it. It is good enough to use now, and it can be better in the future with your input.
He's so modest. It is awesome, and the kids love it, and they're using the snot out of it in Iola. Every time I go there, it's dinosaurs. They've left it on the dinosaurs. That's what they want. But yeah, I talked to the kids, and they like that they can do it themselves. So parents find it useful too. Good job. Anyone else got, do you want to, what are you most excited about for summer reading? We have some magician dude coming in June.
I suppose the end is not the appropriate response to that question, right? We're 2 days in today, so.
I know she's, we have, instead of a festival, she's gonna wrap up with a mestival where you can make a mess out in the yard. So the kids are excited about that.
We decorated our downstairs adult library area, and the adults have been loving it as much as the kids. So I highly encourage, even if you're working with adults, decorate your library because adults should have fun too.
Yay. All right. Well, we're here if you need us. We're going to see everybody. Well, we'll see a majority, 70 of you on Friday. So, again, it's at the corner of what and what? Cottonwood and East? No,
I want to say
Jackson.
Jackson. Yeah.
Cottonwood and Jackson. You can kind of see the high school from the library. But it's a brand new building, and there's huge parking lot right next to it, and there's ramps and technology, and it's a classroom, so you know, comfortable chairs. You have to sit.
If you look it up on Google Maps, it's that empty lot because the satellite image hasn't updated with the new building. So you're going to that empty vacant lot across from the high
Yes.
school.
That is now the new technology center. So, okay. Anything else? Are we forgetting anything? No? Okay. The next one, the next is scheduled for that first week of July. So it'd be July 3rd. We can go ahead and have it. I don't know how long it'll be. I don't even know how many people will be around. I'll be in Indiana, but I can do it remotely. That's not a problem. My aunt does have Wi-Fi. So I guess we'll go ahead and do it Wednesday, July 3rd at 1:30, and if it's a small crowd because everybody's in the middle of summer reading, so be it. Does that work? Okay. Thank you all for coming. This will be recorded and put just like we did for last month. It'll be the recording URL will be right there. Thank you, April. And appreciate this time with everybody. Thank you. Stop.